the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Sending you guys a bit of a tent review video on a brand new product from Vango. So this here is the Vango Osiris Air 500. So the Osiris Air is kind of an inflatable version of the Osiris, which is again a new model for the 2021 season. It sits in kind of Vango's Earth collection, which is almost in its name kind of says a little bit what it's until. It's basically trying to make camping more eco-friendly and more sustainable going forward in the future. So the reason behind this kind of Earth collection, it's a mixture of sleeping bags, chairs, and then obviously quite a few tents. Now the main idea of the fact behind is that it's used from recycled plastic. So things like single-use plastics, whether it be bottles, jerry cans, that sort of stuff, or any excess material, it then gets put through a process where essentially we take a bottle, for example, they basically then make that into pellets, then go through this process where they almost extrude it into kind of thread. The thread then gets sort of spun and woven onto make fabric then into the tent. So it's obviously a big, nice, long cycle. That means we've got more eco-friendly products that essentially haven't, made a load of extra plastic. We're reutilizing something that would normally necessarily go in the waste, in the tip, So we're turning it from well, rubbish to a whole layer broad. So it's something again that Vango are sort of going to get as whole sort of cycling system, which is sort of due to come out shortly, where you can recycle your old tents. So it means you can go from having an eco tent, which is made from waste plastic, into being made and stitched for people to buy. Once you're done with it, it then loops back round to have another use, which we'll come on to in a few more videos time. And again, it means that you've got this whole circle going round, so everything is reusable, which is the main thing we're looking to do. That sort of ethos kind of has been with Vango for a number of years. Things like reusing recycled cardboard for all their packaging, or for example, not reducing the amount of plastics they have their products in. So have a tent is not now in a plastic bag, it's just in its box. Small things like that make a big difference, and it's what we need to see a bit of a change in the kind of the camping sector in many ways. So what we're looking at here, this tent, for example, would about 158 bottles hanging on the wall would kind of go into this tent. And like I said, the mass majority of this tent is basically made from recycled plastic, which is a really great story. In terms of feature-wise, actually, to be fair, when you compare it to what Vango's normal collection is, it actually comes out on top. And the difference in terms of price isn't an awful lot, 50 quid here or there. But what you're getting for that is A, a more eco-friendly tent, but B, more features, more spec, a better, stronger fabric than you see in its kind of Vango's entry-level stuff. So I think really it works. It's going to be a really good collection, and I think from a pitching point of view, it looks more premium. It's a really nice range, and we've done videos across the board, so you can always see that if need be. Obviously, I put the bottles down here to kind of representate how many bottles would go into the tent itself. And actually, to be fair, I'm quite surprised it doesn't seem an awful lot when you compare them like for like, but it's quite a nice visual aspect. Now onto the tent itself. We've got, it's a 70 denier fabric, which basically is 3000mm high shellac head, but the main thing is it's got colour lock in it. So it's like a UV inhibitor, basically helps to sort of preserve the sort of natural colour of the material so it doesn't fade as quickly with the sunlight. Also, you've got a more durable weave, but essentially you also get a longer lifespan than maybe on other brands in the same kind of denim weight of the fabric. You've got unique features, things like, this new kind of mesh door, so mesh side door and mesh front door, so you can get a really good airflow into the tent itself without on those sort of warm days, which we are getting more commonly now. But you've got the brilliant lines, for example, to get that weather-tight shield as and when the rain does come. Rain-safe canopy door as well means you can enter in and out of this when you've got the rain coming down. It's not going to come, so it will go straight into the front of the tent as it would through the front door. But you've got air, so it's quick and easy. I mean, I pitched this model on my own in about sort of 8 minutes flat. Pegged out, guyed out, pumped up the works. And you check out our own Attwoolls pitching packing videos on that and shows you all in one shot how simple it really is. You also got things like obviously Vango's airspeed tubes, so each beam's done individually and you get a manual pump supplied with it as well. You also get some pegs and actually all the sort of high visibility guy lines works really nicely. Crystal clear windows are located at the front, so you've got great sort of clarity in and out of the tent, but then you've got privacy curtains as and when you need it as well. Like I said, it's nice big front mesh doors that allow a lot of air into it, but you've got the flexibility that what you can also do is buy some additional king poles. that's it, and then this door suddenly becomes a bit of a canopy. So basically there's eyelets located in the corners here. So the principle being is what you can do is zip the window up at least, buy the additional poles with some guy ropes that come with it, and then you've got an extra bit of protection from the front of the tent. So whether that be sun, rain, or whatever you like to do. And then when you don't need to use it, you can just roll that door up. And then it's all nice and open. And you know, you can get a bit more sunlight, a bit more fresh air into the tent. But I mean, the front mesh door really works well because, you know, if for example it's nighttime, it's quite warm, what you can then do is obviously have airflow coming throughout, but even though you've got a light on, the bugs then can't spoil the party. The front lip to the actual tent as well is a toggle up, toggle down, so you can basically toggle that down and then peg it down so you haven't got a trip hazard coming inside the actual tent itself, which again is a big thing for small kids or drunken adults. It does make quite a bit of a difference. But let's have a look on the inside tent now and talk through a few more features that the Osiris Air has to offer. So now we're in the Osiris, you can kind of get a bit more idea for certain space you've got inside of here. You can happily have sort of a table and chairs in here and shut that front door down and sort of be quite cosy on a night. Essentially it's a 5-berth, so you've got almost like a 3 and a 2 bed there, but the middle divider can sort of go half and half, so you've got a bit of flexibility. I think for me it works very well as sort of a perfect 3 or even a 4, or to be fair, quite tight 5. Obviously headroom height's pretty decent, and because you've got kind of the air beam system, you've got this pre-angled beams, it means you get maximum room all the way to the top, so I can stand up pretty much right in the corner, if you will, and not have to worry about sort of, you know, ducking down too much. And it's beneficial for means that you have furniture close to the edge. It means to maximise your internal space here. Go on in. Because you've got the air beams, you've got sort of stronger structure, so you definitely is stronger than the fiberglass poles, and that's one of the things you do upgrade to when you go for the air model. It's not just the fact that you're almost a little bit quicker and easier to pitch, but more rigidity in those stronger windy weathers. You've got things like their own TBS system, which helps that sort of strength. So it's an internal guying system where you can sort of attach it in the middle, gives a triangulation point with the guy ropes, and gives you a bit more stability to retain its shape. So again, what you find is when you've got the wind coming from one side, that braces it all and keeps it all nice and strong. It's something they've used in their kind of high-end backpacking tents, but mass majority of people don't really know that their tent has it, well, it's only unique to Vango anyway, let alone really use it. But it's one of those things that's sort of better to have and not need than need and not have. You've got kind of Vango's Skyfall bedrooms, so it's a nice sort of dark bedroom. Like I said, we've got a toggle divider between the two sections, which can be taken out to make it one big bedroom. You've got storage pockets located down here as well. I mean, you can declutter the inside of your tent, or things like put your phones, torches, and keys. That way, if you're scrabbling around in the middle of the night, you know exactly where to find the pocket rather than having a bit of a fish. You've got a hanging point for a lantern located in the centre, and little tabs for Velcro to have the cable running down to a cable entry point down on the side. You also, in theory, could probably use the left-hand door as a cable entry point and just lob it all through. The front two panels, so the front section with that mesh, and the back has then got zip up and down curtains. So you can kind of get that full coverage or the maximum amount of kind of air, and then they sort of roll down into a little pocket located down here. Whereas the other window, for example, or the other windows are toggled. So you can have it as halfway or fully toggled up. So you have lots of flexibility. And there's a little ventilation point beneath that window as well, just to give that help with the airflow and also help fight condensation, really. What we'll do now, I'll quickly grab the camera, bring you inside and have a bit more of a feel about what we've got to, it's got to offer, really. So you can probably get a bit more feel, so certainly the darker bedrooms make a big difference. There's actually a mesh vent at the top there, as well as a big one at the top, so that's going to help with circulation of air. And you can also see a hanging point for a lantern and that other toggle point if you wish to move that bedroom divider. The storage pockets are located down here as well, so again it helps to declutter like I was talking about, but as you can see from the inside of it, it does feel quite spacious when you're inside, especially when you've got those sort of windows all the way around. So you get a real good sort of clarity on the campsite. You can see pretty much everywhere. That works really, really well. The tail entry point, which I was talking about down there, and also you can see the mesh vent beneath that window. But then you've got the beam structure itself. So it's in hanging point right in the middle, and then the Velcro tabs are located sort of stitched on the beams. And that little brow pole over there really helps to keep the shelter away from everything. But I think it's an incredibly smart model, and like I said, the way it sits and the way it's pitched with the colours and everything just looks absolutely pucker. You know, I think it's a really good looking tent with a good amount of spec, and yet again, pack size is quite adequate as well. And obviously we're reusing the bottles we've got here to make this. So yeah, overall I think the Osiris is a really nice model, and certainly I think a bit of a winner going forward for the 2021 season. If you want any more information or want to know anything about the sizing of it, you can check in the link below, and I'll take you straight through the website, and all the information is there, sort of pack sizes, pack weights, then also the floor dimensions are all there as well. But I think, like I said, really strong range. I love the Earth collection and kind of the concept that Vango are trying to achieve, and making everything kind of, well, more eco-friendly across the board. And I think we definitely do need that bit of a shake-up. Excuse me. And that's certainly, thank you. And that's certainly what this kind of offers. It is one we're going to have on display, I believe, on our indoor showroom. So you can always come and see it in the flesh. You want to kind of feel it. And yeah, when you feel the fabric, it actually doesn't feel, it does feel a bit more premium, a better quality than the sort of entry price point of the active range. So, but yeah, that's kind of our little video review on the Osiris Air 500. Any more questions, feel free to contact us directly or comment in the link below. But thank you for watching.